Welcome to the new Girl Scout Volunteer Service Delivery Model, presented to Girl Scouts of Kansas Heartland volunteers between December 2011 and January 2012. We are so excited to share our vision for improving the ways we deliver Girl Scouting across our 80 counties in Kansas. We are, of course, celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Girl Scouts this year. As we celebrate the history and rich traditions of Girl Scouting, we want to talk about looking forward. After all, we did not grow to be a 100-year-old organization by staying the same as the world changed around us. We want to ensure a solid foundation for Girl Scouts of Kansas Heartland for the next 100 years.
In the 100 years since Juliette Gordon Low began the Girl Scout journey by gathering together a small group of girls in Savannah, Georgia, Girl Scouts has grown into an organization with over 3.2 million girl members. Through the years, it has shown remarkable resilience in meeting the changing needs of girls while remaining faithful to our founder's vision of a safe and supportive environment in which girls can learn and have fun in an informal setting and develop the courage, confidence, and character to become leaders today as well as tomorrow.
Since 2005, GS USA and councils across the country have worked together to build our capacity and move the organization forward. Teams have worked to develop new resources, grade levels, and outcomes based on developing girls as leaders. Here are a few more of the changes that we have seen from GS USA in recent years: a recommitment to service, a refreshed logo, and the development of new pathways that allow girls and volunteers to fit Girl Scouting into their lives. We are continuing to move forward towards the vision of an inclusive Girl Scout program built on the Girl Scout leadership experience and girls discovering, connecting, and taking action. We want to think beyond troops, open the door for more volunteers in pathway roles, and find ways to support volunteers that are welcoming, engaging, and meaningful. We have both nationally and within GSKH been asking ourselves, how can we move forward in a way that includes new roles for volunteers, supports all volunteers, and offers girls all the choices and flexibility that Girl Scouts has to offer. As we've examined our service delivery, we can't escape this fact. One thing that has not been updated in Girl Scouts since the 1950s is the service unit, which is pretty remarkable if we think about all the ways the world has changed since then. So what is the service unit, and what are some of the challenges with the current setup? The service unit was designed to provide direct services to girls and adults in a local area, primarily through troops, and as a point of communication between volunteers and the council. In many areas, service units have not been functioning as intended due to low numbers of girls and volunteers, too much work spread among too few volunteers, and a lack of information for potential girls and adults about different options in Girl Scouting. The new structure that we are presenting was developed with volunteer feedback, and we wanted to share a comment made by a longtime Girl Scout volunteer from Southeast Kansas during one of our focus groups. As we discussed the necessity of changing the way we think about our service units, she said,
"We need to get a memory flasher, like from the movie Men in Black, to get people over the idea that we need to do what we've always done. We need to carry on Girl Scout traditions, but also develop a more versatile image and get ideas outside of the box that we're used to. Membership can only go up if we provide the girls with leadership."
Now is the time to build the future of Girl Scouting, a future that offers many opportunities to girls and volunteers. We have developed the new service delivery model in order to meet the needs of volunteers in every pathway. The new service delivery model was designed with input from GS USA, council staff, and volunteers, and was created with a number of priorities in mind. We knew the new service delivery model had to be driven both by the Girl Scout mission and by data about real Girl Scouts across our council. We wanted to align to the Girl Scout leadership experience, allocate resources across the council wisely, and be able to attract diverse volunteers for both short and long-term positions. We wanted to be able to recruit girls and offer them different pathways for participation, and keep our current members engaged. All of these were weighed and considered in developing the new structure. The new service delivery model specifies at each level functions for staff and volunteers so that we can best serve girls across the council and meet the needs of our volunteers. Let's start at the community level, where volunteers organize troop and girl activities locally. Next, we have our newly consolidated service units, where staff and volunteers both provide support for volunteers who are serving in all of these functional areas: membership, program, volunteer support, product sales, finance, and fund development and communication. Then we have our staff and volunteer roles at the area level, an area being the entire region covered by one membership and volunteer program specialist, as you'll see on the map on the next slide. We'll also have volunteers who work alongside staff at the council level, helping with our overall strategic planning and implementation. At the bottom, you'll see national, as GSUSA provides us with resources for a nationally consistent program, as well as our framework for serving girls and supporting volunteers. Here you see our membership areas, which were introduced at the beginning of this 2011-2012 membership year. Each block that is outlined in black represents the area level, served by one membership and volunteer program specialist. And each color block within those outlines represents one service unit. In creating these new service units, we took into consideration geography and driving distances, the number of potential girl members, resources within each community, and school districts. Here is an overview of our timeline for implementing the new service delivery model. We've already made changes to our staff structure, and we've been working on consolidating service units since the beginning of October, except in Wichita, where service units were consolidated a year ago. We are now at step 3, introducing the new service delivery model to volunteers and getting ready to recruit new and current volunteers to fill our new volunteer positions. We'll have a few more details on that timeline near the end of this presentation. We'd like to share another perspective right from a GSKH volunteer. The service units in the Wichita area were consolidated in 2010, and we've seen great success there so far. Melissa Losi, Service Unit Manager for Sedgwick County Southwest, shared these thoughts about experiencing the transition.
The last part of the Girl Scout Law tells us to be a sister to every Girl Scout. And as adult volunteers, we need to remember to lead by example and to live what we preach. Last year's consolidation was not an easy transition for some of us, but we approached it with a Girl Scout attitude, and I'm very happy to say that our new Sedgwick County Southwest Service Unit is stronger than ever. We are enjoying all of our new sisters.
For the next several slides, we'll take a look at the different volunteer roles in the new service delivery model, across each functional area and at each level: area, service unit, and community. Volunteer roles are either direct service to girls, think troop leader or camp advisor, or indirect service to girls, think membership growth or product sales organizers. The service delivery organizational chart on this slide and the next few slides shows the 3 levels in the new service delivery model and the volunteer positions. A full-size copy of this chart will be located in your handouts, but we will briefly go through each area, step by step, beginning with membership recruitment, the positions you see in red on your screen. The Membership and Community Growth Organizer is a position that may be at either the area or the service unit level, depending on the size and needs of the membership. This person is responsible for coordinating the recruitment effort within the assigned area. She or he will work with volunteers at the community level, serving as girl recruiters and volunteer recruiters. Next, we're moving on to volunteer roles in the Program and Pathways area outlined in blue. The Take Action and Awards Committee organizer, again, may be at either the area or the service unit level. This person coordinates the Girl Scout Take Action and Awards Committee, which advises girls in the planning, implementation, and documentation of Take Action products and Girl Scout Bronze, Silver, and Gold Awards. Here are additional volunteer roles in the Program and Pathways area. At either the area or service unit level, we have a GSLE committee organizer, which includes both direct and indirect service to girls, as this person is responsible for ensuring that all program offerings are aligned to the Girl Scout Leadership Experience, or GSLE, and are relevant to girls' interests and needs. That person will work with lead advisors and coordinators at the service unit and community level who will coordinate and oversee girl activities. At the service unit level, we'll have girl facilitators responsible for delivering training to girls, such as the program aid training. We've also got a position dedicated to supporting our individual girl members. Of course, we also have our troop volunteers here at the community level, providing direct service to girls. Moving on, we've got volunteer support positions outlined in brown. These roles include a volunteer leadership development organizer who will work on building leadership skills of volunteers in all pathways within the assigned area. He or she will work with volunteer facilitators who will provide training and volunteer interviewers who will screen potential volunteers and help them find an appropriate position based on their skills and interests. At the community level, we also have a volunteer customer service and support role. This person will serve as a local resource to answer questions, document conflicts and concerns, and connect customers to information as needed. We also have a new volunteer mentor position to help new volunteers find their way in Girl Scouting. Here in aqua are positions within product sales for assistance with both our fall opportunity sale and the Girl Scout cookie sale. The product sales committee at the area level and the product sales service unit organizer at the service unit level will provide indirect service to girls by ensuring that troop volunteers are trained and receive necessary materials and recognitions, as well as reviewing orders and conducting audits. They will work with the troop managers and delivery site coordinators at the community level. We also have a volunteer role for a service unit cupboard manager who will work directly with council product sales staff. In pink, we have finance and property volunteer roles, including the finance committee organizer, who is responsible for managing the service unit bank account and the oversight of troop and group accounts. The property supervisor helps manage GSKH properties located within a particular service unit. Here we have fund development volunteer roles outlined in yellow. We are still developing these positions through which volunteers will provide service to help us widen our funding sources and increase our visibility across the council. And finally, we have communications volunteer roles outlined in green. At the area level, we have a teen brand champion who will help advise on design and content. At the community level, we have a communications organizer who will help distribute news across the service unit and also report success stories back to the council. So how will these new volunteer roles work across the council? This is an example using 5 of our counties in the Emporia area. It includes the membership and volunteer information for that area and compares the current state with our desired future state. In our 2010-2011 structure, every service unit would ideally have between 3 and 8 service unit volunteer positions, depending on the number of troops or members it has. With 21 service units in 5 counties, even with a minimum of 3 positions per service unit, we are looking at ideally 63 volunteers serving at the service unit level in this 5-county area. In 2011, just 27 of those positions have been filled. With the new service delivery model, we have fewer service units and thus fewer volunteers doubling up on roles. Many of our towns are coded as a service unit when they may only have a few girls, with 1 or 2 troops. There are not enough adults in these communities to adequately function as a service unit. By banding together, we are eliminating duplication of some tasks, and we're setting up a model that allows us to recruit additional volunteers for positions other than troop leaders, so that we can offer multiple pathway options for girls in this area. Again, looking at the example of Area 10, we have outlined the positions that we would need to fill at each level: area, service unit, and community. Each area will be different in the number of volunteers needed, and the specific positions at each level will vary depending on the size of the area and service units. In our consolidated areas, as we've eliminated volunteers doing duplicate work, we have, of course, larger areas to plan for. Our MVP specialist, along with other council staff, will be working closely with the new areas and service units to plan how to best deliver Girl Scouting across the council. This is a sample framework of how staff and volunteers will work together to serve girls throughout the year. MVPs and other staff as needed will work with the area level volunteers for the initial planning and strategizing for the area. Service units and communities will set dates, finish the planning, and carry out the activities. Here is a continuation of our sample planning for Area 10. Let's look at what some of the benefits of the new service delivery model are going to be for girls and volunteers across the council. We are going to be better able to match volunteers to positions based on both their strengths and their availability. By shifting responsibilities to multiple volunteers, we can avoid overworking and burning out volunteers, and will also be able to provide timely training and continuous support for new volunteers. We will be able to support girls and adults through all Girl Scout pathways and deliver local, high-quality programs across the council. We can support our individual girl members and engage them through different pathways. Our staff will be focused on strategy, planning, and design so that we can support the volunteers as they deliver Girl Scouting across the council, building girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. After presenting the plan to consolidate service units in western Kansas, one volunteer from Liberal sent an email to her Girl Scouts peers with some thoughts on the changes. We've asked her permission to share her words with you. Here's an excerpt.
I've been thinking about yesterday's meeting. While I was there, all I could think about was how it's not going to work and how it's going to be more work for us. Then my attitude changed. Now I'm thinking that it's great and exciting. I really think it's going to bring us closer, and it makes sense. To me, it seems that we will have double our resources and volunteers. We have more flexibility by having only one main person to contact. And if we don't have events or programs, it's going to be because of us. We will have no one to blame but ourselves. It's up to us to change our attitudes and work together. We can all work together because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want our girls to have a great Girl Scout experience.
And finally, we have an overview of how we are planning to begin filling our new volunteer roles. We are just now launching the SDM to volunteers, and we will complete that step by January 2012. Beginning in January, we plan to begin recruiting and training volunteers, both current and new, for the new positions, beginning with summer program volunteers and moving on to membership and volunteer development roles in preparation for our fall recruitment season. We will continue to fill the volunteer roles across all the different functions, and as we begin the 2013 membership year next fall, we'll assess our system and make adjustments as needed. We expect that there will be some questions now, and of course there will be more questions as we begin to implement these changes. Please know that your MVP specialist will be working with you throughout this process. We know it will take some time before we get from our current state to our desired future state, but we are excited about building the foundation so that we can continue to best serve our Kansas Girl Scouts. Please look over the materials, including this presentation, the position descriptions, and the Service Delivery Essentials handout to begin thinking about finding your place within the new service delivery model. We want each of you to be able to use your skills and talents in a volunteer position that suits your needs and interests. Thank you for helping us do great things for Kansas girls, and we look forward to taking these next steps together.